I'd like to welcome everybody to our study session tonight. Would ask if we could all silence our cell phones and remind everybody that our meetings are televised every day on Channel 2 at 2 p.m. I'm sorry, 6 p.m. at midnight, and also available on for viewing on YouTube. And we'll go ahead and kick off with our Camp Leavenworth update tonight.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. So recently, I did a welcome from the city to the 1,000 incoming majors at Fort Leavenworth. And one of the things I wanted to invite them to was Camp Leavenworth. Most of them have never been to the city before, and they're really in the time where they're making first impressions and getting to know the area. And I reminded them September 20th and 21st, because this is the event you come to experience Leavenworth in a positive way and make memories. I'm here to share a few updates with a few items, and then I'll turn it over to Jess Rogers with O'Neill Events and Management. So the 5K run and walk will occur again this year, Saturday morning at 10 a.m. It's coordinated by Christine Freitchen. She let me know that 75 people have signed up so far, and that's pretty good. We normally get a majority of the run sign-ups in the last couple of weeks. People tend to keep an eye on the weather. We had 225 participants last year, so if everything goes well, we're on trend for this to be the largest year for the 5K run and walk. We've had some great local organization support for volunteers and some donations for the run. FedEx is providing water and snacks again. There's some local cheerleaders helping out, and they're always accepting volunteers. So if there's community organizations, this would be a great way to participate in Camp Leavenworth, and we can put you in touch with Christine.
Cool.
After the run, there'll be an award ceremony, and then local band Motion will open the festival on Saturday. We have had some changes to the music lineup. We had Emma Zeck, who had a conflict, was unable to attend. So we have a little bit of shifting, which means that the Penny Black Band is playing later in the afternoon around 3 p.m. We also have Rex Pryor, who was a local warden with Exit 13 in the afternoon. And then rounding up the lineup for Friday and Saturday are other regional bands with some pretty good followings, and we'd like to see them bring their fans to Leavenworth. Friday night features the Rock Gods, that's their photo up there, and the drummer lives in Leavenworth and is a music teacher here. Unique this year, they will play both before and after the fireworks, so the goal is we keep that momentum and activity going, so it'll be the Rock Gods play, the fireworks, and then they play again. So just try to keep everyone on site for longer at the festival. And then Friday night is the fireworks at dusk around 8 p.m. I don't see John here, but I would say 8:15 would be the most specific and most likely time. And then we're also having an updated silent disco. So we've talked about adding glow items, black lighting, and an interactive glow, dark painting display, just trying to see if we can find something to grow team participation. As a team, as a committee, we keep trying to figure out what do teams like, and so we thought maybe enhancing the silent disco might be one of our options this year. We also have worked on addressing our safety at the silent disco. In previous years, we've had some children climbing on the trees. Jess, do you want to tell us a little bit about our safety improvements this year?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Our amazing designers at Whiskey Design, I was like, it has to be funny and witty, and so we made these really cute signs that are like, we don't like broken limbs on children or trees. You know, there'll be some funny signage kind of posted on the trees, and then we're going to use some neon flagging tape and some decor elements to kind of block out the trees as well, so it won't be such a risk this year.
So just really focusing on the silent disco and keeping that a safe and fun activity. And then we've been working with Main Street to try to ensure downtown business participation, general business participation. They will once again be at the information booth with the Convention and Visitors Bureau with information, and hopefully that's the first stop everyone has as they're coming into Camp Leavenworth, so get the chance to capture them with that. We've had conversations with Executive Director Haley Shaw and really kind of gave them some creative license on what they wanted to see at camp, what they could bring to try to highlight downtown businesses. So we're working with them on that piece. With that, I'll turn it over to Jess Rogers to cover Camp's Got Talent and some additional highlights.
Yeah, so this was a really fun idea that we came up with this year as a way to just really feature a bunch of different local folks. Our kind of idea was to pitch it as a talent show and be able to anything from dance to karate to I know how to cook and can do a quick demo. You know, we really kind of wanted to see what we would get with this application. Thus far, we currently have 4 different dance performances booked. A young 11-year-old boy piano player who's going to do a couple songs. A local novice singer, and we've reached out to a couple of the local bands who I've gotten 3 of them today confirmed that they're going to play little 5-minute acoustic sets. So while we couldn't have them on the main stage this year, this is a nice little ease into it and see what comes in the future. Next up, sponsorship. Really proud of this. We're actually higher than we've ever been with Camp Leavenworth financial fiscal sponsorship this year, and that's in big part to Walmart. They came through and they're going to have a really amazing activation on site where they're bringing, they're touring a mobile boutique Airstream around the Midwest this fall. And so we got them somehow. And it's really exciting. So it'll be a 30 by 30 footprint in the festival with their Airstream that you can go onto and shop. It's really a preview of these new, I think they're kind of getting into a bit fancier clothing lines for women and men and things like that, and they want to showcase it. So they're going to do a lot of giveaways and fun little other activities in their space. So I think they really complement the festival well. And then we had Zephyr come in, a local business for $1,500, University of St. Mary for $1,000. We do have a few other leads out right now. And then we have our amazing in-kind sponsorship with marketing and other things throughout the community with FedEx, LV Arts, Wilcott, and Leavenworth Times. Some new features at the festival and some returning that we haven't had in a bit. We will have a new petting zoo, which is really fun. There will be bunnies. I can't remember the entire list right now, but lots of fuzzy friends to pet. The Walmart boutique I just spoke about, the Glow Silent Disco that Penny spoke about, and the Glow mural. So that'll actually be an interactive 10-foot by 10-foot large-scale mural that people can paint on themselves and kind of fit like a large coloring sheet, if you want to think about it that way. People can kind of fill it in, and it will all glow at night because it'll be uplit with black lights. The Camp's Got Talent stage we briefly reviewed. Our tree climbing is back this year, which is really fun. Yes, s'mores, we're kind of going back to a pre-pandemic and making a s'mores bar for guests, where they won't handle it. We'll, gloved volunteers will handle them, but it'll be a little bit more of an interactive, fun kind of activation this year. And then we'll return with our scavenger hunt and prizes for kids. There'll be some more stops along the way for the scavenger hunt and some better prizes this year. So we're excited. Yep, chalk art contest is back. I officially have 7 people signed up right now, which is great. The theme this year is campsite, which we're kind of illustrating and promoting with this little bear campsite here. So however people define campsite that is family appropriate, which normally it is, it'll be really fun. It's always a hit. And then currently with our vendors, this is where we're sitting. Very proud we have 17 local Leavenworth vendors. We have space for up to 5 more, just with tenting and things like that. We can always make extra space. Non-local vendors, makers, we have 5 right now. And then food vendors, we have 3. We are reaching out. We would like more food vendor participation, and we've reached out to all the local registered ones, and we're kind of following up with that right now. So hopefully we'll get more there. And volunteer and participate, please, please, please. We always need more volunteers and more help. This is a great way to get a foot in with the festival and share ideas and just support. That is live on our website right now, really easy to find other than the Get Involved tab. Yeah, we just love to see you there.
Yep, so we'd always recommend the campleavenworth.com website or the
Yes.
Facebook page. That's how you can stay updated. That's how we'll release information. So yeah, follow us that way. That's really the updates that we have for the commission tonight.
Cool.
Can you let us know what questions we can answer for you?
The talent showcase, is that going to be sporadically through, or are they all going to be all at once?
So I should explain that better. So years ago when we had camp, we had 2 stages, and we had kind of an Airstream small stage. So we're bringing that back, that small stage idea.
Okay, good. So the kids will be there.
Exactly. Right now we are planning to have it out by on the park side. What is that little house? structure, what do we call that? The train,
The
by where we do the
yeah.
bubbles, yes.
Bridge
but-
tenders.
Yes, so we'll
Yes.
do a small stage there that will be programmed out in 15-minute segments.
Okay.
And so it'll be ongoing Friday evening and Saturday.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Can they still sign up?
Yes, yes, we want, and please encourage, like karate studios, anything you can think of, kids or adults. You know, we would love more applications,
We've
for
been
sure.
visiting local music shops and karate
Yes,
studios.
anything you can think of
passing
like
out the
that.
flyers, so yes.
When's the deadline for the sign up?
You know, that one we can push that one a little bit. I wanna see who, I wanna kind of encourage getting as many applicants as we can on that. We do have probably about 8 more spots to fill, so that gives you guys kind of a round number. But I would, I'm comfortable to push that one until 2 or 3 weeks out from the fest, so about another 2 weeks or so would be great. Just for signage, that's where my brain goes.
We love the variety.
Yes, yes.
Merchandise.
Merch.
Yes.
I actually got our hat in today. I should have brought it. But we're making a really cool hat that's camo printed and says Camp Leavenworth in mustard colored font on the front. We're making a great new general tee that has camp and a really cool graphic illustration. We're making a kids t-shirt. Last year we made a toddler size t-shirt. This year we're making kids small, medium, large that has that fun campsite graphic, a little bit more elevated than that. And we'll have new staff shirts today with this year with all our sponsors on the back. We did some smaller merch items, like little magnets, keychains, pins, giveaway things, temporary tattoos out of some of our critters, just some fun stuff like that.
I didn't put it in the PowerPoint, but I can definitely share that with the commission.
Yes,
Thank you for adding more local bands.
yes.
Definitely.
I really, really appreciate that. They put a lot of effort in that list.
Yes.
And then,
And local food too.
yes, thank you. And local vendors, thank you so much.
17, that's quite a bit.
Yes, it is.
It matters, so I appreciate it.
Oh, definitely. That's what we're here for. That is why we're here.
We do have a discounted vendor rate for
Yep.
the local food trucks. So they will be paying half of what we would charge anyone else participating.
That's good.
Cool.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
We're excited.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Good to see everybody.
Yep.
Thank you.
You too.
All right, and with that, we'll go ahead and get ready for our Public Works update. Mr. Faust.
Faust is here to update us on road construction.
Yay.
Oh, thank you all. Just want to provide an update. I don't think Public Works has done this since I've been here. And so I want to provide you guys a little bit of update of what we're doing this summer, our projects and our other activities. First one is our road improvements for 2024. Our mill and overlay project is complete. Might be hard to read all the streets, but those are the streets that you approved earlier this year. You also improved 3 alternates that we completed. The bid award was for 1.8 million. We were actually able to get final cost down to 1.656 million. We actually saved about 143,000 on the project. And we actually did add 2 small sections of roadway. One was on Dakota west of 20th. There was a couple hundred feet that was in really bad shape that we're actually able to just piggyback onto this, and we were still under budget. I do want to give a shout out to Mike Stevens and Justin Stewart with our engineering department. They designed the 2024 project. They did all the work themselves, the plans, using aerial photographs. They did the bid specs. So they saved the city a tremendous amount of money. And Justin and Shane actually did the inspection work for us. So it went really well. So,
That's cool.
Yeah, thank you.
some examples of streets that we did this year. If you've been up on 4th Street right at Kiowa, right by the Heritage Center. Picture on the left is what it was earlier this year. A picture on the right is where we are now. And then we always try to do a parking lot, and so at the Heritage Center on the left was, again, earlier this spring. It's been repaved and restriped.
Culture Center?
That's Richard Allen.
Richard Allen Culture Center.
Cultural Center.
You're saying the Heritage Center?
Sorry, Cultural Center,
You-
right
okay.
there. Just other views, 7th Street. We did a section of 7th Street this year. We try to do a section every year of 7th because that's, again, one of the main entryways into the fort. 10th Avenue, we did a section of that, that'll continue next year. And if you all drove Shrine Park after last winter, it was pretty rough. And this year we did a lot of base patching and a mill and overlay
It is so nice.
in that roadway.
It is so nice.
The other thing we have here, Shawnee Street, where the city did reconstruct Shawnee in the year 2000. And we really hadn't done any maintenance on it since the year 2000. And so we're kind of pushing that edge of mill and overlay or reconstruct.
Sure.
And so last year, 2023, we did the section from 10th to 15th. And this year we completed the project from 15th to 20th. That's looking really good.
That's amazing.
Do have a couple short drone videos that Derek took. So this shows a couple of the projects that we did this year. And some before pictures during construction. We tried to keep the road open, so we did the outside 2 lanes and then the inside 2 lanes. And then there's kind of the finished product. So a significant improvement. And again, in 2025, we'll work our way north on 10th Street, up towards Lemon Street. The other big project we have going on is our downtown right now. And we flew this last week. You don't get a good view of it when you're just driving through the intersections east and west. But it's actually amazing the amount of work that's already occurred. A demo, the sidewalk has been replaced. The curb line has been replaced. And so we still have the majority of our intersections are open east and west. So traffic can go east and west. We're closed at Seneca and at Choctaw. We do have some challenges, which we knew we would when we awarded the contract. We did ask for 10% contingency on top of the award because we knew we would find things. And so the picture on the left is a rather large cavern that we found under the pavement. Was unanticipated. There are a number of coal chutes along buildings. And on the right side, you can see the condition around one of our manholes. So there's a lot of things that we didn't know we'd find, but we knew we would find things. So, and then just a few pictures of some of the work that's been done: new curbs, new sidewalk all along the project. Very pleased with how the project is going. With Lina Weaver and Sands Construction, they have really been working with the city. Because with what we're finding out there, there's a lot of changes that occur in the field, and they have been very willing to work with us and keep working. So the project is going really well. Sam, may disagree?
No, I don't.
2025, we're actually starting to work on a 2025 pavement plan. This is a draft. I know it's hard to read, but we are looking at 3 types of pavement options in 2025. One is the mill and overlay. One is our granite sill, which we did several years ago. And the other is called UBAS, which is an ultra-thin bonded asphalt surface. There's more streets on there than we can afford to do in 2025. And so we're in the process of driving each of those streets, seeing if the treatment is appropriate, and then coming up down to a dollar amount of around $2 million, which is in the budget. And those that we can't do in 2025 will be moved to 2026. We do hope to bid this later this fall. You know, in the past, we'd always start tearing up the streets about the time school started. Pat would always give us grief that, you know, you knew when construction was going to start because we were going to mess it up when the kids go back to school. This year, we got it done early, and we plan to do the same thing in 2025. We hope to start tearing things up in March. So,
Cool deal.
sidewalk improvements in 2024. We did a CDBG project on Dakota from 4th Street to the east. And this is just an example. We had non-compliant ADA ramps. And the project was done. We have compliant ramps, and a lot of sidewalk was replaced along with the project. The other sidewalk project in the work is actually our downtown, our ADA ramps. We did submit this for a KDOT TA grant. The boundaries are defined Choctaw on the south, Seneca on the north, Esplanade on the east, and Broadway on the west. And there's quite a few ramps that look like this throughout that area that are non-compliant. KDOT anticipates having an award ceremony in October. And so we hope to be awarded this project. WPC, our water pollution control folks. Just a picture of the building there. They're responsible, obviously, for the collection and treatment of our wastewater, along with a component of our storm sewer system. Something you may not know, our WPC staff is responsible for locating all city utilities. So you see the commercial on TV for call, 1-800-DIG-SAFE or those types of things, call before you dig. Our crews actually mark city utilities, which is storm sewer, sanitary sewer, and city electric. And right now we're averaging 400 markings a month, which works out to about 16 different locations per day that our staff is marking.
Wow, didn't know that.
Yeah, when I came here, I didn't realize we were doing that, and it's quite a bit of work for the guys. We did approve smoke testing with GBA. Smoke testing actually helps us find where we have I&I issues. I&I stands for inflow and infiltration into our sanitary system. So this occurred just a couple weeks ago. We're just about finishing it up. These are examples of where we have issues with our city main. And so you'll see smoke coming out the manhole. What that means is when it rains or I have a high groundwater level, that water enters into our sanitary system. That means I got to treat it. We have areas in town where we have I&I rates. When it rains, our daily flow rates will go up by a factor of 10. And so we're treating 10 times as much liquid as we would normally treat on a dry day. And that costs money. And so there'll be an effort to find these locations and then look at the low-hanging fruit and try to work our way back to try to correct these issues.
So you put the smoke down in the sanitary sewer, and then if it travels to the storm sewer, then you know you've got a problem?
If it travels, like if it comes out of an inlet, that would be a direct connection, and so that would be what we would call inflow. The water's going directly into the sanitary. Most of these would be called mostly infiltration. It's actually kind of the groundwater. As the ground gets saturated, it flows into the lines through cracks, problems with manholes. One of the things that we do experience, if you look at the picture on the left, you'll see smoke coming up in the yard, and you'll see smoke coming out the vent on the roof. The picture on the right, you'll see smoke coming out of a downspout. Fire department is going to be very happy when we're done with the project because they definitely saw an increase in calls.
Oh, good.
We did warn everybody, we put door hangers out, we did everything we could, but I can understand when people get nervous when they see smoke coming out of their house, so they had a lot of calls. This is the private side. Your I&I, 50% at least of your I&I problems are on the private side. You have a lot of old lateral connections that tie in. The city can spend a tremendous amount of money, and if we fixed every problem in our public system, you've only corrected maybe half of the problem. Another thing that you may not realize, most people think sanitary sewer is underground. We do have a number of aerial crossings in town, and we have a storm event. These are two different crossings earlier this spring that were impacted by large trees. And so we do run our lines every week, and these are things that come up.
Where's this located?
This is that was up by the golf course.
Okay.
Of the old golf course.
Shrine Park Road.
Yeah. And we had a lot of trees down. The last storm, the trees of this size is something staff can't handle, and so we'll pull in a contract and do that work. The service center, the commission did approve the purchase of a paved jet in 2024. We're out there paving with a paved jet. We also are doing a lot of concrete paving. bringing our crews up to speed on how to do both. That's a service that we should be able to provide to our community.
You guys like that quite a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys, a lot of our staff hasn't done that type of work before, but it's a skill they're learning, and it's actually, it's a good skill, and we have good people, so.
Cool.
For them, yeah.
We also have an excellent two-person stormwater crew. And they're really starting to knock out a lot of the projects we have on our list of things to do. On the left, they're doing some grading and riprap work around Cheyenne. On the right, some clearing and some ditching on Sheridan Street. The same crew is actually stormwater crew. They actually did the crosswalk on Delaware back in June. We have if you've been on Delaware, you know the crosswalks and sidewalks, we got a lot of deteriorating concrete pavers.
Yes.
That's due to just age as well as the impact of our de-icing materials that we use. And so we actually used salvaged street bricks and went back in that crosswalk. We wanted to do a trial to see how it worked. We thought
I
it
got a lot
worked
of
really well.
compliments on that.
Good.
I get a lot of compliments on
Oh,
that.
good, good.
Yeah.
Our plan is to go back and continue to do that as time allows. We also do cleanup. On the right side is cleanup between the river and the tracks by the Riverfront Community Center. So crews are kind of a jack of all trades. Refuge Division, we did purchase one new truck in 2024. The trucks have 2 tippers to help with the poly carts. We actually currently have 6 trucks that are all in service. We are training our staff and working with our guys to obtain their CDLs, because you have to have a CDL to drive a trash truck. It is a challenge, though, to keep drivers. Once they obtain their CDL, the grass, as we say, is always greener on the other side, so there's a demand for CDL drivers, so it's a challenge to keep them.
How's your staff? How many, are you up to staff now?
What time is it? No.
You should have asked us yesterday, man, sorry.
No, we're not.
Okay.
Again, because of people get their CDLs and people come and swipe them. They're worth the money.
Yeah.
We worked real hard to get back on schedule. I have a feeling you all received 1 or 2 phone calls about us being late on pickups over the last few months. The last several weeks, we've actually been on time.
Yeah, I say I haven't had any complaints lately.
So, well, yeah.
Knock on wood.
No, would.
We will probably start to go back to not picking up every day. I mean, when we miss somebody, we're a day late. It's not like we typically, you're a week late or we miss you for a month. I mean, we don't get you on Monday, we'll get you Tuesday. But with some of our staffing issues, it's a challenge. Let's put that way.
Okay.
You also did approve the purchase and construction of a new building for the police department and public works. It's a storage building out at the service center. Crews, our own staff, are doing the work of getting the pad site ready. And that actually involved relocating a storm line and then, like I said, building up the pad site. For reference, this is on the north side of the lot. On the picture to the right, the recycle area is just to the right of the picture. And so just for reference. And then I had to put this in there in the last year, the kids are painting the snowplows. We have a bunch of schools that want to paint them again. We are looking forward to what the kids come up with. It's always a blast to see what the kids draw.
Yeah.
They like it.
They're creative.
We try to put the plows that the kids do on trucks that are in the area where those schools are.
Yeah.
So the kids on snow days can see the plows go by. But we prefer not to have the plows go by because we don't want to be seeing snow, so.
Yeah.
That's coming up, and be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I'm surprised you haven't been here to do an update. It's, I guess because we see you so much, we see little bits and pieces, but
Yeah.
to see it all at once, it's amazing how much your crew does, you know, a variety of things. It's good.
How are you guys liking the new trash bin program so far? Now that you're about a year into it now, right? Full year into
Yeah,
it?
probably pretty close.
Pros,
The
cons?
guys, they like the policy of not picking up full house dumps.
Yes,
which they had to do before.
yes.
They like the idea of not picking up all the loose stuff. And, you know, it's gonna be in bags or it's gonna be in the poly carts. As you're getting used to the poly carts, it takes a little, you know, you just grab a bag, throw it in there. Well, you wheel a trash cart out, and then you gotta wheel it back, so it's a little bit of a slowdown in that. But it saves your back, the guys appreciate that. I think.
see carts in my neighborhood, because there's several rentals in my neighborhood, stacked. The cart is open and it's stacked up, so you got like 20-foot boards in it, you know? And they do this. I don't know if they pick them up or not, but it just amazes me what people will do with
Yeah,
those carts.
it's amazing what you can fit into those.
That's true.
And we do encourage people, I mean, you know, when you move your cart, make sure the lid is closed.
Yeah,
Because if you're pushing the cart and the lid is open and you tilt the cart a little bit, you step on the lid and you fall face first into the cart. We've done it. It really works like that, so, I mean. Yeah. If we'd had videos on the trucks, it would have been priceless at times.
oh yeah, that's good. That would be good. Show at the Christmas party, you know? It would be good to see that.
The other project we got is 4th Street from Reese to Poplar. That's a KDOT, it's called a City Connecting Link Improvement Program, so C-CLIP. That one is in design. It's actually been through field check with KDOT. We hope to bid that later this fall, and that's the area of Tired and Naples Field. We're doing a mill and overlay and ADA improvements on that, but that'll be an early 2025 construction also.
Have you found anything interesting on 4th Street? Have you found anything interesting on 4th Street, like any old coins or relics yet?
Well, Sam hasn't told me of anything.
Nothing? Okay.
Underground city.
More underground cities, ghosts.
Just careful what you find, that might delay the project for a
I
while.
know, it's
told them,
true.
don't call me with anything that you find, that would be a problem.
Speaking of 4th Street, I think it was last year, you did some ground penetrating radar and to look at what is underneath there. And you found some stuff that I think you probably already expected to see. Do you expect to see any things, you know, projects that'll have to be done underneath the intersections as they get closed off and worked?
For most part, the intersections, we don't anticipate any big issues. There's the storms that were, new boxes, and we're tying in some new pipe to old systems. But we don't anticipate any major issues with the intersection.
When you'll be done by?
We're still, I think, definitely on schedule. We have a November
15th,
What?
November 15th.
Yes,
Mr. Maxwell and I have had a number of conversations about the Veterans Day Parade that everyone is paying attention to. I make no promises, but we're optimistic that we'll be close enough to figure out something.
I keep hearing about the Veterans Day Parade too. And most of the guys are saying, what the heck? The intersections are open in the directions we're going. What do we care?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's true.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
depends
hasn't
on
been
the
that bad
timing
so
of the
far.
intersection work.
And we've been lucky, the weather has been, for the most part, pretty decent,
Sure.
which allows work to continue.
It's been, well, I guess it was hot and cool, but.
You talked about cycling through employees a little bit. You know, Brian, like on average, how many hours you're spending having to retrain folks, you know, when you bring somebody new in, you know, any idea?
No, not really. As far as, the different crews, like refuge, drivers, when I lose a driver, that's a problem. Because it takes a while to train a CDL. It's hard to find a CDL that wants to come to work for the city. We train them, that actually takes months. I mean, we give classes every day for an hour a day, work them through the book on training. They go get their permit, and then they eventually get their license. Then we move them up to driving. But if they quit, then you start all over again. And so we'd like to have 4 crews out. We have 6 trucks. We like, 2 spares. We like to have 4 different teams out. We've broken each day into 4 quadrants. And so as a way to improve the service that we provide, we assign a truck to each quadrant. And so they work their way towards the middle. And if somebody's running behind, then they can go help them. Monday with call-ins and those types of things, I had 3 trucks running. 1 driver and 1 person on the back for 3 trucks. So a staff of 11, I had 6 people here.
So you could spend 6 months trying to retrain somebody.
It can
Is
be
that pretty
quick.
accurate?
Yep.
When they're leaving to go pursue, something else with their CDL, what kind of a percentage pay increase are they looking at for the next?
It can be quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
20,000.
In one of the
Yeah,
local,
depending on what kind of company you're going to work for.
right, and Geiger has opportunities in town right now. And so I might lose someone to Geiger. One of the, like you say, the grass is always greener. Geiger may pay more. And when construction's booming, those guys are gonna be working a lot. In the wintertime, not so much.
Yeah.
And so, you talk to the guys about the pros and cons, and we're never gonna hold anybody back, but,
Yeah, the reason I was asking was I didn't know if there was, possible, way to balance out, adjusting something there, potentially on the pay side. I mean, if you're cycling through, if there was enough of adjustment you could make where you weren't as much anymore, if that would be beneficial or not.
one of the things that we implemented this year, we actually did bonuses for CDLs. And so if you get a CDL, you don't get it all up front. There's still, you have to stay with the city.
Good, that's a good
that's
idea.
good.
But it's a pretty healthy, in my opinion, incentive to stay. And so if you go through the work of completing the coursework and testing and passing and getting your CDL, we want to reward you for that, because that took a lot of time and effort. And then we want you to stay, and so if you stay 6 months, there's another component to that, but,
That's a good idea.
What class of CDL is it?
I'm sorry,
What class of CDL are they getting?
I think it'd be
Okay, so they're not qualified to drive an 18-wheeler or something?
correct.
So we're not losing to those guys at least, yellow freight and such.
But I mean,
Even though they're trash haulers.
Yeah,
Waste Management has some pretty good incentive programs. They have sign-on bonuses, they have a lot of those opportunities, so.
Okay. Well, thank you, Brian. Appreciate the update.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Cool. All right, that brings us to a close. Want to go around?
So just very briefly, I sent you an email the other day. The pickleball courts and the basketball courts at Cody Park are nearly complete. They will be done. So we've scheduled a ribbon cutting opening ceremony. Mr. Grant tells me there's a highly devoted group that plays on Tuesday mornings at the community center.
Yeah, we all know
And so
who they
he's
are.
excited about transferring them from the community center out to the pickleball courts. And so we'll kick that off with some juice and some donuts, a quick ribbon cutting ceremony, and then we'll have some lessons so everybody can play pickleball court for a few minutes.
So
So
we're gonna commission challenge you?
I need to brush up on my pickleball skills. I'm learning, terms like the kitchen, that kind of
Oh, yeah.
stuff. There's
Oh.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
right.
Some
You are
terms I
learning.
need to learn.
That was named
but-
after
when you
you,
need to be
you
in
know.
the kitchen.
Right, that kind of stuff. Apparently there's rules about that. We're brushing up on
You
that.
gotta stay out of
before
the kitchen.
Yeah, stay out of the
You
kitchen.
can't go in there? See, I didn't know that, so we gotta work on that.
I was trying to cook.
That's
I
it,
thought
sir.
there were times when you did go in there and times when you stayed out.
Oh, there is, yeah.
I don't know anything about pickleball except that I tried it once.
Oh, man, I
It's just
played
not
it
for
for
me.
years.
I don't think you're
Yeah,
old enough.
I think, yeah, maybe.
But
but the young people are doing it.
I play.
I keep
I'm
hearing
the
about,
oldest one in here.
It's a movement.
kids are doing it now. Yeah.
Cool.
That's
Ed?
it, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Thank
kids
you.
play.
Speaking of the pickleball ribbon cutting, I don't know if you guys are getting, but I'm getting lots of people saying, I hear it's gonna be on the 7th of September, or it's gonna be on the 15th of September. There's gonna be hot dogs, right? And stuff, all kinds of misinformation out there.
So
So,
you said the 6th?
There was a
When you-
little
Make
bit
sure you
of,
bring the
yeah,
hot
there was
dogs.
a little bit of option discussion, but it is on the date that I talked about. Melissa's
Yeah.
prepared to start doing some advertising and make sure the message is out
Yeah.
there. We'll get it out there.
we gotta get the word out.
Right.
Cool.
Awesome. You done?
Other than that, have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Awesome. Well, this weekend is LV Arts in the Park at Stubby Park, so I'm looking forward to that. So, if you're out there, come on out. It starts at 10, as well as Costa's having their superhero
Sure.
run. And I may be dressing up this year as a superhero, so stay tuned for that. But lots of fun things going on in Leavenworth, so hope everybody has a great week.
Cool deal.
I want to do a shout out for Vision Zero. I have been getting several calls about different places, so people are seeing that. And I direct them to the site and say, you know, be sure you do this, it's not hard to do, put your pin on there. And I looked at, and I've added a couple myself, but I looked at it the other day, and there are a lot of pins on there, so a lot of things to think about. So please, go to the city website and just look up Vision Zero right on there, and it'll take you right to where you can put pins on there where you may have some issues, so. Please do that. Thank you. That's all I have. Thanks.
Do you know off the top of your head what if there, I mean, there's probably a deadline?
It is tomorrow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have said that
Go
first
there
thing.
tonight.
Do it tonight. Yeah.
Thank you.
I didn't know it was coming up that quick.
Lose sense of urgency.
Yeah, thank you.
Just shout out to our refuge worker. You all have been doing a great job. We understand like it gets hot. We know that it's not a fun, desirable job, but we just thank you all for your hard work and commitment and getting the job done. So God bless and have a great week.
I'll second that. God bless. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.